There's a star in our sky that's living on borrowed time. It's massive, ancient, unstable, and at any moment it could die. If it does, it won't go quietly. It will explode with such power that the night will turn to day. You'll walk outside, and there it will be brighter than the full moon, visible even in daylight. People across the world will stop, stare, ask if it's a second sun. And for weeks, maybe months, it will shine, unmoving, fierce, like a god has set fire to a new light in the heavens. But this isn't fiction. This is real. And it could happen. Tonight, the star is Betelgeuse. You've seen it before, even if you didn't know its name. It glows with a red-orange pulse on Orion's shoulder, the giant hunter in the sky. It's so large, if placed where our sun is, it would swallow everything out to Jupiter. And it's dying. Its core is collapsing, its surface trembling, and its light flickering in ways that terrify astronomers. Betelgeuse is unstable. And the universe doesn't warn before it breaks. Welcome to Skybound Minds, where we don't just observe the stars, we listen to their final breaths. If you're captivated by the mysteries of the cosmos, hit that subscribe button now, like the video, and comment below what country and city you're watching from. We want to map the night sky through your eyes, because something incredible might be coming. A light from 600 years ago, and it's just now reaching us. Betelgeuse has always commanded attention, not just because of its color or its size, but because it feels alive. It pulses, it breathes, it changes. Unlike most stars that remain steady and cold, Betelgeuse wavers. Its brightness rises and falls over months, as if it's trying to tell us something. Ancient civilizations noticed it too. Indigenous astronomers in North America, Polynesia, Africa, and the Middle East all marked Betelgeuse as a special light. Some called it the eye of a god. Others said it was a warning. They couldn't explain it, but they felt its presence. Modern science gave it an Amanda countdown. We now know Betelgeuse is a red supergiant, one of the most massive types of stars in the universe. It's burning through its fuel at a terrifying pace, fusing heavier and heavier elements in its core until, eventually, will try to fuse iron. That's when the star collapses in on itself, and then detonates in a supernova. The core implodes. The outer layers erupt. A wave of light, energy, and matter spreads across space at unimaginable speed. And when Betelgeuse goes, it will do so with a force so violent, it could be visible from Earth with the naked eye. Moment could already be in motion, because Betelgeuse is 642 light-years away, which means whatever is happening there has already happened. If it exploded today, the explosion actually occurred over 6 centuries ago, and we are only now receiving the light. That's the terrifying beauty of space. It plays with time. Every star we see is a window into the past, and every brightening, every dimming, could be the final act of something already gone. In late 2019, something strange happened. Betelgeuse dimmed fast. Astronomers watched in disbelief as one of the brightest stars in the sky lost nearly 40% of its luminosity in just a few weeks. Some called it the Great Dimming. Telescopes around the world locked on. Was this it? Was the supernova beginning? Had the collapse started then? Just as suddenly, it brightened again. Theories flooded in. Some said a dust cloud from the star's outer layers temporarily obscured the light. Others argued it was a sign of deep internal instability. But none of them could say for sure. The truth is, we don't fully understand Betelgeuse. We've studied it for centuries. We've modeled it, measured it, obsessed over it, and still, it keeps its secret. And that secret could be explosive. If Betelgeuse goes supernova, it will become one of the most incredible sky events in human history. It would shine day and night for weeks. It wouldn't harm Earth too far. For that, but the light would flood the sky. Shadows would stretch under a second sun. News reports would erupt. People would gather on rooftops. For many, it would feel like a spiritual event. And for astronomers it would be the event of a lifetime. No telescope required, no filter needed, just eyes and wonder. To understand what's really at stake when Betelgeuse explodes, we need to grasp just how powerful a supernova is. When a star like this dies, it doesn't just disappear, it transforms in the span of seconds. It releases more energy than our sun will emit over its entire 10 billion-year lifespan, all at once. The star's outer shell is hurled into space at tens of thousands of kilometers per second, crashing into whatever surrounds it: dust, gas debris lighting, the interstellar medium like a cosmic wildfire. But the core collapses into something different. It could become a neutron star, an object so dense that a single teaspoon of its matter would weigh billions of tons. Or if the mass is large enough, Betelgeuse may form a black hole, a tear in space and time, invisible, silent, feeding on the very gravity that once held the star together. Either way, the star, as we know it, would be no more. What remains is a monument to death on a scale our species can barely comprehend. And yet, in that death, comes creation. Supernova don't just destroy, they build. Every element heavier than iron, gold, silver, uranium, even the calcium in your bones was born in an event like this. It took the death of stars to create the elements that built Earth, that built you. In a strange and almost sacred sense, we are made of stardust, not as poetry, but as literal fact. And Betelgeuse, when it explodes, will continue that cycle, seeding the galaxy with the raw materials for planets, for life, for stories yet to be told. This is why astronomers are so obsessed with it. Because to witness a supernova, this close within our own galaxy, is almost unheard of. The last visible supernova in the Milky Way was over 400 years ago, and it wasn't even naked eye spectacular like Betelgeuse could be. If it explodes, it may be the closest supernova ever recorded in the age of modern science. And that means instruments across Earth and in orbit would catch every moment of it and every frequency, from gamma rays to radio waves. Imagine the data. Imagine the light. Imagine seeing the sky itself change before your eyes. Not because of a comet, not a satellite, but because a giant, ancient being finally collapsed under its own weight and left behind a signature in the heavens that could outshine every other point in the night. There would be fear. Yes, confusion. Social media would ignite with theories. Some would call it the end of the world. Others, a sign from beyond. But the scientists, the dreamers, the watchers of the sky, they would understand. They would know that what we're seeing is not destruction, but revelation. A supernova is not just an explosion. It is a revelation of time, of matter, of meaning. And this one may already be on its way. Betelgeuse has always had a strange relationship with humanity. We name our stars, we map them, we draw stories between their points, but rarely does a single star demand attention the way Betelgeuse does. Even in ancient Babylonian records, this star was marked with awe. The Romans saw it. The Chinese tracked it. The Egyptians may have incorporated it into their sacred architecture. It sat on the shoulder of Orion, the cosmic hunter, glowing like a blood-red jewel. But what they didn't know is that they were watching a ticking clock. A countdown measured not in hours, but in millennia, and still, with all our instruments, we don't know when that countdown ends. It could be tonight. It could be in 100,000 years. For all our brilliance, stars like Betelgeuse remind us that the cosmos owes us no certainty. It pulses on a rhythm older than time itself, and we are fortunate to catch even a moment of it. But moments matter, especially when they light the sky in ways our ancestors only dreamed of. Some believe Betelgeuse's moment is already written, that when it dims again this time, it won't return. Instead, we'll see a flash, a growing, impossible light, something so bright it casts shadows at midnight. It won't hurt us, we're too far, but we'll feel it. In the streets, in our bones, in our dreams. A cosmic exhale that wakes something deep inside. For children born under its light, the sky will never be the same. They'll grow up with two memories of the stars, the sky before Betelgeuse, and the sky after. And perhaps, like our ancestors, they'll form stories around it, mythologies, songs, a second star that appeared, lingered, and then faded, leaving only silence behind. But maybe, not complete silence, because even after the light fades, the ripples will remain. Astronomers will study the aftermath for decades, tracing the shock waves, mapping the dust, following the elemental trails through space. And from it, we'll learn about physics, about stellar life cycles, and perhaps, about our own fragility, our own inevitable fate. Because one day, the sun will die too, not in a supernova, but in a quieter unraveling. A red giant swallowing its inner planets before collapsing into a white dwarf. And long after we're gone, maybe some distant civilization will watch that death. Maybe they'll wonder who we were, what we knew, whether we saw it coming, and they'll find this story, this voice, this star, and they'll know that once, we looked up, and we waited. The silence of space is not empty. It is full of motion of particles, waves, collisions, and decay. It is full of whispers we haven't yet learned how to hear. And sometimes, in that silence, a star like Betelgeuse begins to shake, subtle at first, a flicker here, a fluctuation there. But under the surface, chaos brews, the core grows heavy with iron, fusion stalls, gravity tightens its grip, and in a moment shorter than a heartbeat, it collapses inward and rebounds outward. In one of the most powerful events the universe can produce, this is not fiction. This is stellar death. Simulations of Betelgeuse's supernova suggest the explosion will begin with a shock, break out a sudden flash of ultraviolet and X-ray radiation that pierces the star's surface like a scream. It will happen so fast, we might miss it. But if our satellites are watching, we'll catch it. Then, the light will rise. First invisible, then red, then bright white, and then blinding. A second star appears in the sky, and for days it grows, refusing to be ignored. I imagine waking up and seeing something in the sky that wasn't there the day before. It's not a plane, not a comet, not a planet. It's brighter than Venus. It casts shadows, it glows even during daylight. News stations scramble. People stare upward, some rejoice, some panic, but no one can look away. It is an event for the entire human species. Matter your language, your belief, your country. One star, one sky, one impossible light. And yet, some will never notice it, too consumed by the noise of the world. They'll walk beneath that glowing beacon with heads down, unaware of the ancient story burning above them. And that might be the greatest tragedy of all, not missing the science, but missing the missing the moment when the universe tried to speak, and no one listened, but not you. You're here, listening, watching, remembering that the cosmos doesn't belong to scientists or belongs to anyone willing to look up. And what Betelgeuse offers is more than light. It's a chance to remember how small, how vast, how connected everything really is. Because in that flash, we're reminded we live in a galaxy that is alive. Stars are born, grow, suffer, and die just like us, and sometimes they go out with a roar so loud it echoes across centuries. Betelgeuse has been waiting to roar, and the sky is listening. Across generations, we've stared at the stars and wondered what they mean. We used them to guide ships, to tell time, to mark seasons, to write myths, but we rarely imagined that one of them might one day answer us. Not with words, but with light, with power, with finality. And that's exactly what Betelgeuse threatens to do. It's not just science anymore. It's a story written in fire. For the astronomers monitoring Betelgeuse, every pulse is a puzzle. Its surface is restless. Its brightness fluctuates. Its infrared emissions shift. And deep beneath that turbulent atmosphere, something stirs. We don't know if the collapse has already happened. We don't know if we missed it by centuries or if we still have thousands of years left. But we do know this. The clock is ticking. Not forward, but backward. The detonation is already coded into its atoms. The only thing left is to witness the moment it reaches us. And when it does, Earth will stop. Even the busiest cities will pause. Headlines will change. Children will ask questions their parents can't answer. And those who still believe the universe is quiet will suddenly understand they've been living under an illusion. Because the cosmos is anything but silent. It's screaming, exploding, moving, and it just lit a flare big enough for the whole world to see. The light will burn for weeks, maybe longer. And when it fades, something will be different. Not just in the sky but in us. Because for a brief window of time, everyone will have looked up. Everyone will have shared a single experience. No divisions, no borders, just wonder, just the light of a dying star. And maybe, just maybe, that will be enough to spark something lasting. Maybe a child will see that light and decide to become a scientist. Maybe someone lost will look up and find purpose. Maybe humanity will remember that we are not above nature, but part of it. And when the light goes out, when the sky returns to normal, it won't be the end. It'll be a beginning. Because now, we'll know what to watch for. We'll be ready for the next. And for once, we won't just exist beneath the stars. We'll exist with them. Betelgeuse will leave behind a ghost, remnant glowing in X-rays, or shrinking silently as a neutron star, or even a black hole. We may never see that remnant with our eyes, but we'll know it's there. A reminder that the universe is constantly writing, erasing, and rewriting its stories, and we are part of that narrative, just by looking up, just by caring. And so we wait not with fear, but with awe, because out there, beyond our worries, beyond our noise, a star is dying. Or perhaps, it already did. Its final breath is on its way, moving silently through the dark, crossing light years to reach us, not to destroy, not to warn, but to remind us this universe is alive. Every second, something beautiful ends, and something new begins. When Betelgeuse explodes, it will not just light the sky, it will light something in us. A hunger to understand, a reverence for scale, a thrill we thought we lost, and when that impossible glow finally fades, we won't forget, because for one moment, the stars came closer, and we saw them as they truly are.